Hi, it's Father Greg from St. Andrews. Well, Advent is finally here, and that means that we are beginning a new church year. Advent's the first season of the church year, and it's the 4 weeks that lead up to Christmas. Advent is a season where we look forward to the birth of Christ, but not just the birth of Christ the first time in the way that we normally think about Christmas, but we also, at the same time, anticipate when Jesus will come back to the earth and make all things right and live into the kingdom of God that Jesus' ministry talked about and enacted all the time. So these 4 weeks of Advent are really preparation leading up to the birth of Christ. And just like Lent leads up to Easter, it's meant to be a season that helps us to focus and that helps us to prepare for Christmas instead of Christmas just kind of showing up out of nowhere. So it's really important, I think, for us to celebrate Advent as its own special season. And there are some things that can help us do that. One of those things is called the Advent wreath. And I've got one here that I want to show you. It's a ring with 4 candles, and you'll notice that there are 3 blue candles. We use blue for the season of Advent. Some churches use purple, but we use blue, and 1 pink candle. And the pink candle is lit on the 3rd Sunday of Advent, where we talk more specifically about Mary and her role in all of this. So this is an Advent wreath, and if you don't have one at home, we happen to have several of these wreaths, rings at church, and the candles that go with them. And so you can call the parish office and pick one up there if your family doesn't have one. Lots of families already have one, because the ring you can use over and over again. And then typically what people do is they decorate this ring with maybe some cuttings from a Christmas tree or little evergreen branches or some boxwood branches. But greenery goes around the bottom. Now, where did this tradition come from? Well, it seems to have come from Germany, at least to this country. German immigrants brought the tradition over. And each Sunday, you take one of the candles, and so the first Sunday of Advent, which is the 29th, which is this Sunday, you light the first candle. And then the second week, you light the second candle. Third week, you light the third candle. And guess what one you light on the 4th week? You light the 4th candle. And what it does is sort of every time you light the wreath and you add another candle, it gets brighter and brighter. And that sort of anticipates the coming of Christ into the world, that the light is getting brighter and brighter. You know, many cultures throughout the centuries have done similar things with light and candles at this time of year, because I'm sure, as you've noticed, it gets dark really early. And we are approaching the 21st of December, which is the longest day of the year. And that's where the sun is the farthest away from where we are right now. And so it's one of those things where ancient cultures always marked this darkest period of the year, knowing that from there on out, the days were going to get longer. It was going to get lighter. And so that tradition was taken over by Christians many centuries ago to say, well, we have this idea of the light of Christ coming into the world. And so in the darkest point of winter is when Christ's light comes into the world. Excuse me. I put together a little sheet, which you can't read because it's backwards, but it has an Advent wreath on it that will be posted on our website, and also Miss Ann will send that out to all of you. And it has prayers that you can do for each Sunday of Advent. So it's a way to celebrate Advent at home. And this year, I think, especially during the pandemic when we're just not going out as much, it might be a great year for your family to celebrate Advent at home. And what I've done is put together just a little, very brief service. It has a reading and some prayers, and you light a candle. You can do that around a mealtime, maybe on Sunday night, or you can do it really anytime you want. And kids can do the readings or participate or light the candles. There's all kinds of ways for the family to participate in that. So I would invite you to celebrate Advent in a special way this year, and to maybe be a little bit more intentional about that time that leads up to Christmas, instead of it all being about shopping and all that sort of stuff. to really be about the coming of Christ into the world. So I hope you have a blessed Advent.